Welcome. Well, you're at home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family. And we are so delighted that you have welcomed us into your home, and we wish you all a blessed Lent and a happy Valentine's Day. We would love to hear from you, so send us an email with your questions or your comments to jimandjoy@ewtn.com. Well, today our guest is Mario Costabile. Today, he is the executive director and producer at Array of Hope. Mario spent years working in secular media for such notable organizations as MTV, Discovery Channel, Atlantic Records, and more. He now uses his talents in media to help spread the Catholic faith. To learn more, go visit their beautiful website, arrayofhope.org.
Amen.
And we're excited to have Mario with us today.
So
Today is Ash Wednesday. We pray that you all make it to Mass somewhere in your home, go wherever you are, from work. I know people will be leaving from work to go to Mass in the evening. And
it's Valentine's Day.
And it's Valentine's Day. So
Ash Wednesday is bigger than Valentine's
if you're fasting, if you're praying and you're almsgiving, I pray that you have a beautiful Lenten journey.
I think our priests, some people made an appeal, can we have a dispensation to eat what we want to eat and do what we want to do? And you know what our priest said? No.
No.
No, I mean, he said it very nicely.
Yes.
They said, no, it's a perfect time to make a sacrifice. We give thanks to Valentine's Day, St. Valentine's Day, and so on. But no, this is a time for, especially this day, is a day of fasting from meat. No, abstinence from meat, and a day of fasting, just one full meal and two smaller meals. You know, it's not very rigorous, but for some people it might be. I think that's from age 18, the fasting part, through 59 years old. And 14 years old, you can always abstain on Friday. So, yeah, you're called to abstain from meat today. And the other Fridays, you're called to abstain from meat as well. And that's obligated by the church. Other Fridays in the normal year, you don't have to, they don't ask you to abstain from meat. That used to be a principle of the church. So anyway, it is required now under penalty of sin, I would think, if you don't abstain from meat. So you need to remember that.
And you know, you hear from people, oh, I couldn't be Catholic because there's so many rules and what I can and cannot do. But the point is that you would make a small sacrifice, that you would enter into a deeper love for Jesus. So the end of this Lenten journey, more of Jesus and less of you. That's the goal, always.
So we'll be back with more Array of Hope, right? And that's such an evangelistic ministry. Maybe you want to add prayers for opportunities to evangelize other people, to share with them the love of Jesus this Lenten season. We'll be right back. Plenty more to come. Don't go away.
Welcome back. We are at home with Jim and Joy, and today we have a great guest named Mario Costabile. He's speaking with us on how he went from commercial media success to spreading the faith with Array of Hope today. So Array of Hope produces music and videos, podcasts, and more to help spread the Catholic faith. You could go to their website, arrayofhope.org. And before we get started on our show today, we're going to watch a short video from Array of Hope.
It is phenomenal. It's like the Bible alive. This is what the new evangelization is all about.
It's just awesome. My eyes are opened, and I love it, and I want to come back.
Phenomenal. Honestly, the dopest thing I've been to in such a while.
So the Array of Hope concert event is a multimedia concert experience. It features music from our bands. There's also sharing and witnessing of the faith. In addition, there's a beautiful tapestry of nonstop visuals projected on multiple screens. It's an opportunity for families to get together and experience the faith in a new and exciting way.
Everyone should experience this. Any Catholic should experience this show.
It's something that will really stay with you even when you walk out the doors.
Perfect. Well, I love it. It's exciting, right? It's Jesus alive and making him real to us.
Yeah.
Well, but first, before we go there, we want you to tell our family a little bit about yourself, your background, where you came from, so our family gets to know Mario.
Okay, I'm a husband.
Okay.
Married 40 years this June,
Praise
which
the
is awesome. 5 kids, 5 grandkids. Born in the Bronx, so I'm from New York. Hey, forget about it, you know. And I'm a cradle Catholic, and I'm a music and film producer for most of my life.
Your cradle Catholic, always faithful, reversion?
Well, I had a reversion in my 50s. I was, the early years as being a Catholic was really just going through the motions and really just kind of just doing what I thought Catholicism should be. But in my 50s, I had, I didn't have a midlife crisis, but I had a crisis of faith, and I tried to, I knew that I wasn't, immortal. I knew that I was going to die at some point in time, and quite frankly, I was scared of the options, heaven and hell, and I wasn't really sure. I was more fearful of hell, obviously, and that's where I thought I was heading toward. So I had to reevaluate my own life. I had to reevaluate meaning, purpose, and tried to get to know God better, and that was sort of what was planted in my heart.
Sounds like Ash Wednesday
Yeah.
conversion.
Yeah, very much.
Here we
very
are
much
together.
so.
Remember
Yeah.
your dust, to dust you shall return. And when we do speak about periodically about holy fear, I think the Song of Solomon verse is a lot nicer. It sounds like that says, come away with me, my beloved, my beautiful one. But there's a place for holy fear and looking at our lives and understanding our mortality. And that's what happened with you, and you wound up right side up.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I had really poorly catechized. I was always sort of the skeptic about Catholicism, and God implanted a desire to know him better. And it was a period of about 7-8 years where I had a desire to develop my intellect. I read everything and anything I could about the Catholic faith. I started going to daily Mass, so that the sacraments started to really bring in the grace that allowed me to better understand who God is, who Jesus is, and really what the Catholic Church teaches. And it was a beautiful period. I'm still always learning, still always on the same journey as we all are, right? But it was a very pivotal moment in my life,
So you were involved in your career in music and film and everything. And then you have this crisis of faith, right? And then God says, now I'm going to call all of your gifts and all of your talents into my storehouse. So tell us about, and he does that, and he's so gracious, where he makes the latter years greater than the former. Because that was just for the world.
Right.
But now what you're doing is to advance the kingdom and to bring the love of God and the love of Jesus, who he really is, to so many people. So tell our family about Array of Hope. We saw that beautiful concert. What is that?
Well, Array of Hope essentially is a multimedia concert experience. It's really designed for the family, but young people see it, old people see it. And it's really like a firecracker to engage someone in their faith walk. So if someone is questioning their faith like I was, if someone doesn't understand who God is, essentially through using multimedia, exciting the multiple senses that we have as humans, visuals, sound, emotional discussion, reflection, witness. It's a 2.5-hour experience. And it goes through the 3 theological virtues: faith, hope, and love, culminating with the importance of prayer. So it's really a walk through our Catholic faith in a concert setting. And really, it's really designed for someone at the end to sort of question, where am I in my faith journey? to question, am I in line with the teachings of the church? Am I really a faithful Catholic? If we do that, we win. If we instill doubt in the viewer and that's experiencing this event, then the Holy Spirit takes over. We're planting seeds of grace is what we're trying to do, in our organization.
Are you saying that, it's a one-night event?
The Array of Hope Concert, we do a lot of things at Array of Hope, but the Array of Hope Concert experience is a one-night experience. So parishes would bring us in for, a revival event or a concert or youth event, or we do a lot of diocesan events as well. So we do youth events for diocese. So yes, it's a one event kind of thing. We do.
And the target audience, you said it was for families, but the target audience for the young adults who are walking out of church, like it's kind of like after they receive all the sacraments, after confirmation, it's kind of like, okay, I checked that, Mom, now I'm out, right? And so this is a way to arrest that and to say, wait a minute, come in and see how good God is and how alive He is and how He can impact your life's journey. So the target audience for the concert is what age group are attending?
Well, I think the Lord is calling everyone. So the way we share and evangelize is really very expressive, and we're sharing stories and music, which is all really appealing to anyone. So our target audience is really all demographics, although we brought in a lot for youth events. Like, I'll give you an example. Sometimes they bring us in like for a confirmation retreat, but then they invite the entire parish. So what's beautiful is that, here we are, we're exciting young people, which they get excited very quickly with music and visuals, but then their parents are with them and they're experiencing this thing together, which is extraordinarily powerful. What happens, to your point, is that, often the church is catechizing young people, getting them through the sacraments, really, and then the parents are not engaged in that, so they go home and we tell them, now you got to go to church, you're all excited, and the parents will, they'll say, well, my parents don't go to church, So this experience really engages both ages, young people, parents, even grandparents, to sort of experience the faith in a way that they can experience this common excitement about who God is in the church.
What kind of pre-preparation goes into this? I mean, if you contact the diocese or you contact the parish, what are you asking them to do? And I guess I'm thinking here about intercessory prayer, preparing the ground, praying for people who might be coming to this.
Well, as an organization, we pray, before every event. But what we ask the parishes is really just to engage on our website, see some of the preparatory stuff that we offer them, get familiar with our performers, our band, our people that share, so they become familiar. It's like, it's like going to watch your favorite musician in concert. If you know the music before the concert, it's that much more of an exciting experience. So we try to get them to get involved with Array of Hope and what we're about before they actually experience the event.
Speak about the genre, what you're doing, and some people might say, well, one of the highest callings is to be at Mass, to be in the midst of the liturgy, to be there. And you're speaking about something outside of the liturgy, and this looks like pretty passionate, contemporary music. But how is it being used? I mean, you see this again and again, to connect with these people who are coming. It doesn't take the place of the liturgy, but we could do other things outside of the liturgy that really glorify the Lord. How's this connecting with people?
100%. So what we try to do is we try to find the commonality in people and draw them to an event. And typically, the attraction is the music or the humor or the fanfare or the extravaganza that it is, right? And even the first few 20, 25 minutes is really just to engage and interact with them so they feel comfortable. They find a place that they're not sort of like being preached to because they know it's a Catholic event. And then once their guard is lessened and they're relaxed and they're really enjoying themselves, then we start to interject the messaging, the gospel, the teachings of the church in a way that's very conversational, through witness, through sharing of what we've experienced in our own faith journey. And the point, to your point, Jim, is that this event doesn't replace a Mass or replace the liturgy. What we're trying to do is point to the Mass and the liturgy and the sacraments, so they see that, well, I haven't been to church in a long time. Maybe I should go back, or this. Oh, I never thought about the sacraments being that important, or they didn't understand the sacraments. So indirectly, or rather directly, what we're doing is that we're forming them through an event that is embraced or sort of delivered through entertainment. So it's powerful, you know, when you can, it's like watching a movie, you fall in love with the characters. What we try to do is we try to get them to fall in love with we try to get them to fall in love with the deliverable, how we're engaging with them, and then the message, which we don't change.
Right.
You know, the teachings of the church, the orthodoxy of what we do is rooted in the teachings of Christ. So it's just the deliverable, the conduit is very relatable, very current, very exciting.
Right. And for if any parishes or dioceses would have any hesitancy, they think, oh, maybe they're trying to replace this. I can remember back in the late 60s, we would go to what was called the Hootenanny Mass.
Yeah.
And in the Catholic Church, I would go with my friends, and it was downstairs, and the priest would play the guitar.
Right.
And all the young kids went.
Kumbaya.
Yeah, and the all the old Italian ladies would be upstairs, like in such disdain, like the Hootenanny Mass down there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't either or, it's both, right? Because we're coming to worship Jesus. And so it's not like one is going to compete with the other, but it's what you said, then we're going to bring them to the Mass.
Yeah.
And where we're saying, or into adoration and different teaching, having someone say maybe exactly what the priest is saying, but maybe not the priest, you know, this time. And so you're hearing somebody else saying, you're like, oh my gosh, that kid's young, and they're presenting this. How do they know God, and they didn't go to seminary, and they don't have a collar around their neck? Right? And so it's that way to say that we can come, you know, we're not here to split your church, we're here to add and make it more beautiful, to beautify the bride.
100%. I mean, I think of what we do as like a modern day multimedia parable. Jesus used parables to share important teachings, right? So that's all that we're doing. We're just sharing what Jesus shared in a way that has a commonality that people would understand, you know? I think the Catholic Church has, you know, a communication issue. We have to communicate better who we are as a church so people understand the importance of the sacraments, understand the importance of the teachings of who we are, you know? I think the church is suffering because of people are not as formed as they should be, under catechized. So,
it's just amazing how a different format sometimes. And like you say, a lot of these, well, not a lot, but you might have a good number of people that elapsed, that have left the church, gives people who are really, you know, doing well in the faith to invite people or just come and see this. It's not necessarily coming to Mass. And so they're hearing the same message, but hearing in a different context. They're seeing in a new way, and they're seeing this thing really be led primarily with lay people. And so the faith really becomes an everyday kind of thing. We're all witnesses to the Lord. Are you seeing people returning to the church as a result of it? Because we need it.
Yeah, I know we are. We're seeing people that helps marriages. It helps young people especially. I mean, I always hear stories that, you know, people will comment either on our website or send us emails and say, you know, I didn't realize that the Eucharist was the true presence of Jesus. You think like, are you kidding? But when you say and share and you give them an understanding of where it comes from, then it's like it resonates. So we get stories like that all the time.
Well, and especially in this year of our Eucharistic revival, right? And you all are going to be at the Eucharistic revival.
That's right.
You'll be there. And so when you say that, because people, you know, they did that study, and what was it, 70% of the people in the church don't believe that Jesus is in body, blood, soul, and divinity. They don't believe. So how did we go wrong? Like, so we have to, and they usually have left the church and they're in Protestant land where they're starving for the Eucharist. And so we need to get them back to say, come and look and see.
We just have to tell our story. You know, we just have to share with them that, you know, Jesus lives in the Eucharist, his body, soul, and divinity, you know, and the graces that are received by, you know, receiving the sacraments are powerful. And we just have to share that.
And it's all true. It's all true.
It is.
We're going to hold you over for the final segment. We'll just have a few minutes in that segment, but maybe you can introduce us to Array of Hope music. That's a whole nother category that's there. So there's plenty more to come. We will be right back to continue our conversation. God's renewing his church. There's a new evangelization that's coming to the church. We'll be right back. Plenty more to come. Have an array of hope. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. We're at Home with Jim and Joy, and our guest is Mario Costabile. Now, we're talking about his beautiful ministry, Array of Hope. Tell us about the beautiful music ministry that you all have, and how can our family get a hold of that music?
Yeah. We've always had music in Array of Hope, but we rebranded ourselves as AOH Music, and they're young people that are creating that music, and we tried to make the music very contemporary in sound, so there's something called CCM music, which is contemporary Christian music, which is evangelical in nature, but that's what Catholics are listening to. So outside of traditional music, I'm talking about contemporary music. So we wanted to model ourselves after that so we can really bring in a lot of people to what we're doing. So it's available on all the streaming platforms, Pandora, Spotify, Apple Music. It's on our website, you know, AOH Music has its own YouTube page and its own website. So it's available anywhere you type in Array of Hope and AOH Music.
And the Catholic Church needs to know that, because it's like, you know, otherwise we're singing songs in contemporary Christian music, but it's limited because we're not singing about our liturgy, we're not singing about the Eucharist, or we're not incorporating, you know, all of the sacraments into the music. And it's, I mean, and that is just beautiful, and it's enriching. And so that, I mean, I love listening to it, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah. Look, everybody loves music, right? So why not make the best music you can and express the beauty of the church or Christ and through the lyrics? It's powerful.
It is. And again, it's that different genre that comes. And so it goes beyond words. So we're speaking here. This is a good thing to do. But we could be thinking about a million other things. Defending against the words that are being said to us. Priest proclaiming something wicked, but you can't defend yourself against music. It just goes in. If it's junk, it's going in. If it's beautiful, it's going in. If it's whatever, it's going in. And so you have these people that are singing, they're in the Lord, they're worshiping, and it may be the first time that somebody really, you think they would encounter it at Eucharist, but some don't. And all of a sudden, it's like, I'm alive to Jesus, I'm alive to Jesus. And I'm going to tell you this, if that's happening in an evangelical church or a concert or whatever, it's not evangelicals' fault, it's the charismatics. You can say, well, that's not in a Catholic church, and I never experienced the Lord like I'm experiencing it here. I need to be there. And they leave the church because they've had this encounter that came not through the liturgy necessarily, but came through this intimacy and this passion, you know, with the Lord, this love thing that's going on. So what you're doing is really critical and very important.
Yeah, I mean, God made us in a beautiful way. You know, we respond to music for whatever reason. Our hearts are open to it. So, to your point, to make the music have meaning and purpose in the end game that resonates in someone's soul, really, to point them back to God, I feel very blessed to be part of it. I always am very thankful every day that I'm involved in ministry, so it's fun.
Amen. Well, you're doing a great, great work. Thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure.
Looking forward to tomorrow and continuing the conversation. Go to arrayofhope.net, right? Array of Hope.
Or org.
Or org, okay.
Yeah.
Either one, go there. There's so much more in the ministry. We spoke about the concerts, we speak about the music, they have a whole channel, they have social media outlets, and this is something that will be a great blessing to you personally, something where you can connect, especially with younger people, your family, your children, grandchildren, and God's doing a great work in renewing his church. An Array of Hope is right at the center of great things that are going on. God bless you. God bless all of your loved ones. Have a blessed Ash Wednesday. Keep it on EWTN. Bye now.